right, hi everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Unpopular Review. We're going to be doing something a little different today. So it's our first time we're going to be talking about trailers. So this episode, our very first one, we're going to be talking about the Batman movie. So the trailer was just released and we're ready to talk about it.
From your secret friend.
Underneath the bridge,
Who?
top has sprung a leak, and the animals I've trapped
Haven't a clue.
all become my pet.
Let's play a game. Just me and you. Any of this mean anything to you?
You're becoming quite a celebrity. Why is he writing to you?
If you are justice, please do not lie. What is the price for your blind eye?
The hell are you supposed to be?
I'm vengeance.
This guy's crazy.
You're part of this too.
How am I part of it?
You'll see.
So, I saw a couple things in the trailer that were of interest to me. As far as the costume design of Batman, I'll show it right here. I wasn't a fan of the mask itself, but the actual the suit doesn't seem so bad. I'm not sure if it's just the angle. It does look a little baggy, but maybe that's just like the angle of it. But I think it's an improvement over the last Batman suit that we had in the version. I didn't really like the bulkiness of that suit either, but I think this one's a little bit of an improvement. Not the mask, but the suit itself. What do you guys think?
If you want to ask me about the suit, the only thing I can say about the suit is just going by it and understand that this is just a, for a better term, pre-version, because you're not sure what's going to be added or taken out when the official movie comes out. However, what I like, I don't like. And let me tell you why I don't like the suit. And that's simply because of the fact that he looks super skinny. He looks like a vampire from Twilight in this movie. He doesn't look intimidating at all. He doesn't look like he's scary. That's why some thugs are like, well, who are you, clown? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he did the little rapid punches, but it's not intimidating. Batman is the night. Batman is fear. And right now, I'm not afraid. I'm thinking if I put you in some sun, you're going to glitter.
Facts.
You guys. Okay. That's your opinion.
And I'm sticking to it.
All right. Well, also a couple things I noticed in the clip were this first scene here. If you zoom in on it, you'll see like a couple different things in the clippings. There's someone named Don. I'm not sure if he's in the comic books or not. He's a mayor. He went something about a third term on an election. And apparently the Riddler, or whoever wrote this here, has some kind of issue with that. And I assume that this is the person that was killed in the beginning of the clip, where you see the Riddler, or who I assume is the Riddler, taping up the person and writing the words on the tape on his face. I assume that that's his character here. because later on in the clip we see they're at some sort of funeral, and if you zoom in later on the news clipping images, it looks similar to the man who's in this picture here. There is a scene here with who I'm assuming is Commissioner Gordon.
From your
And
secret
if you look
friend.
closely in the background, you see some like a chandelier. And you see a large set of windows. And you also see that in an earlier scene, you see that similar large set of windows here in the background. And a couple clips later, when Catwoman is attempting to burglarize the place, if you notice at the top, the chandelier has a very similar shape as the one from the Commissioner Gordon one, even though the lighting of it has changed, but the shape of it looks very similar. And so does the windows in the background, those tall floor to ceiling windows. And I'm thinking, did she come back to like burglarize the place of this dead mayor, or it's something I interesting.
Wow,
Got me like a lot
wow.
of
Like,
I know. I'm amazed too. It's like you're really trying to pick
Chrissy
apart the
became a
trailer.
detective on this one.
Yeah, I wasn't paying
really,
attention to that. I wasn't paying attention.
like,
Unfortunately,
damn.
there was a day scene in it, and I was blinded by the glitter of Jacob. But no, I'm amazed. I'm amazed at how much you have broken down, because I didn't even notice that stuff. You could be hitting the nail right on the head with a lot of the stuff that you've seen. Another thing that I want to also say is, props. So they might be reusing some props. I'm not sure. But however, that was really, really good detail. One of the problems that I have, you mentioned Zoe Kravitz. Everybody has to start off somewhere. But I will say this. I do believe they're throwing too many Batman villains, Batman characters in this movie. Now, granted, the Riddler, as we think anyway, is supposed to be the main villain of this movie. We will see more in the coming times and in the coming trailers and stuff like that. I will worry about that later. But the thing is, what we need to pay attention to is, did this movie have an impact in doing what it's supposed to do? And maybe we'll get into that when we get into, because this is a short review. Maybe we'll get into that at the end when we talk about, are you more or less excited to see this movie after seeing this trailer? James, I'm interested in your thoughts.
All right, so everybody said a lot of things. I'm not going to get onto whether or not I think it's petty or based on whatever. I'm sure you're basing your opinions on something. It's just not something that I agree with, right? So let me say this. It's directed by Matt Reeves. He's known for doing, more recently at least, the Dawn of the Planet of the Apes and War of the Planet of the Apes, right? Those are movies. Those are not my things. I've seen some of the Planet of the Apes series, the classic ones, the Tim Burton and everything, but I'm done with the apes and taking over the planet and everything like that. It's not my thing. What I want to highlight from those films, though, is the hyper realism. And what I mean by that is this. We now have the technology, right, where you can make the apes look simian, because that's what they are, or that's what they're supposed to be. What I transfer from that movie to this trailer, because we haven't seen the finished product, we don't know what's going on. And remember, the conceit of this film is that this is Batman Year 2. So everything is not going to be as we know it to be in the comics. And nor should we assume that anything based off of a novel or a comic is going to be exactly fitting into place as to what we know or what's established. We got to realize that the characters are 70-something plus years old. They have many different stories. Their legends continue to grow. The characters don't age, except for Dick Grayson, right? So it's not going to fit the same. But sprinkled in there are things that we know and we appreciate, or hopefully so, right? So what do I like about the trailer? I like the fact that it looks gritty. I like the fact that it looks like it could exist in a world that I would see, right? I love 89 Burton's film, but it looks like in a surreal Gothic city. And it looks beautiful, but I never see that in the American landscape. That doesn't exist. I like the Nolan Batmans, right? And I'm not even going to get into the Schumacher, because that's, beyond, what anybody would actually see, right? I like the Nolan ones. Why? Because it was filmed in Chicago, and that's what a city would look like. I like that it had different layers. You had different tax brackets, and you could see where different people live, so to speak. But we never got the detective story, right? And good or bad, and hopefully I'm leaning on the side of good, right, with Paul Dano's The Riddler and the different clues. I'm going to geek out, I know, even if I hate the movie in the end, at the fact that we actually get to see the world's greatest detective in a detective story. And I'm hopeful that he's not going to have all the answers because, again, this is the second year, right? As far as who's casted Robert Pattinson and Zoe Kravitz, I've seen Zoe Kravitz in some things and I've enjoyed her in it. But I'll say this: when Zazie Beetz was casted as Domino, and then later I saw her in, well, I actually liked her as Domino in I forget the name right now, it escapes me right now, but in Deadpool, excuse me. I enjoyed her in that, and then I saw her again in Joker, and the Joker is a different tone than what's Deadpool, right? I've seen Zoe Kravitz in a couple of films. I've enjoyed her in that. She wasn't bad for what that role was, right? So now I'm willing to see her in this. The only thing I can honestly say that I've seen Robert Pattinson excuse me, is the Twilight series. Again, that's not my thing, right? But Gary Oldman was in one of the Planet of the Apes movies. Does it mean that Gary Oldman's not a good actor? And for those who are going to have a heart attack that I'm putting these two in the same sentence, I'm making a point that I haven't seen him as Batman, and this is the first trailer of a movie that hasn't come out yet. That still, I think they said, has 2 or to 4 months of filming left to do that they want to do in principal photography. So I don't know what the finished product is going to be, but I'll say this to bolster my case. When Christopher Nolan said that he wanted Heath Ledger to be the Joker, I didn't know where he was going. I enjoyed Batman Begins. I enjoyed the casting in that. I didn't want to switch anything around. I like to go in a movie, eat my popcorn, and enjoy the story, right? The only thing I knew Heath Ledger from was A Knight's Tale and then Brokeback Mountain. Neither of those things interested me. So I wasn't going to go back and look at his previous work to make a determination on what he would do to the Joker. The only thing I said was, in that first trailer, if they showed the Joker, or if I hear the Joker laugh, it has to be on point. And that teaser trailer, when you have the silhouette of the bat symbol rising up out of the buildings, and then you hear Heath Ledger, and he does the Joker laugh, that sold me. I'm going to be dead honest. And when I went into the movie theater, not to quote a movie, I wasn't disappointed. So I'm hopeful. Again, Paul Dano, I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful for Robert Pattinson because I do like the Batman as a character. I don't want this movie to suck. And nothing in this trailer gave me the impression, if I'm excluding all of past work of all of the other actors, that this movie would suck. I like the detective aspect. I like that he's angry. Because remember, in the comics, Batman doesn't calm down, sort of, until Robin comes into the picture because he can't go in there like a loaded gun all the time because there's a child there. And Batman says this in the comics if people are familiar with that. So I like that he takes it to the extreme because Batman is angry. That is the motivation of his character. Vengeance, rage over what he could not prevent as a child. So I enjoyed those aspects of the movie. And I'm hopeful and I'm more positive than what I've heard, if I can say that.
Vic, go ahead.
Well, James actually just gave me another perspective on it, and it makes a lot of sense. The only thing that, and mind you, this movie looks very entertaining. The only thing, my question is, what's the point of doing it now? Because isn't Ben Affleck doing another Justice League movie pretty soon?
He's doing the Flash movie, yes.
Yeah, like I don't see the point of having two Batmans at the same time. Like I don't see why DC is necessarily doing that. So
I'll answer your question.
Like I don't really see. I mean, I think that it's going to be a good movie. It looks the trailer looks entertaining. This is the darkest that we've ever seen Batman. Me personally, I prefer this Batman. I wish they would have continued doing more movies with this Batman, in my opinion. But yeah, I mean, I guess we shall see what happens. I'm curious to see where it is that they start. Because usually, Batman starts with his parents dying and all of that. You know what I mean? So, like, even though you do see the part where he calls himself Vengeance, but like, what I'm curious to know is, besides that, what else is he vengeful for? Because it seems like there's a lot more to this movie than meets the eye.
I took a screenshot of the Batmobile, which I assume is the Batmobile of this movie. And I wanted to know everyone's thought. I personally, from what I can see, I like it. It looks to be like a little more streamlined than what they've been doing recently. They've kind of been bulking up the Batmobile throughout the years. And I like that they kind of took it into a different direction and made it more sleek. But what are you guys' thoughts?
I like it before Vic comes in and hates on it. And Vic is the vengeance today. Vengeance with hate. Look, this Batmobile, aside from having the bat cowl on the grill, is very comic book accurate. That's exactly what it looks like to me. It looks like something that somebody without Lucius Fox, because remember, that's not the conceit of this movie. This is not the Nolan universe where that made sense that the Tumbler would have existed, right? This is Matt Reeves' year 2 where he built that himself. And he is using all the talents that he has gained over the years, studying and honing himself to be the best, right? It looks like something that he put together. It looks comic book accurate for I think that's the 70s or late 60s Batmobile era. I don't know why people are upset. Vengeance, please, would you explain?
I mean, I'm just partial to the 1989 Batmobile. It's like beautiful Batmobile, and like every other Batmobile, in my opinion, has been prepared. Honestly, it just fits the character very well. The gadgets that are in it were really good, and then and all the other cars just kind of look like utilities. You know what I mean? Like an extension to the utility belt. It just looks like something that's part of his weapon arsenal, not necessarily something that fits the character. And this car, shoot, I would get it now. I could I would have that car and a DeLorean.
The DeLorean, I'm always going to get
bad confusion. The only bad Batmobile, in my opinion, has been the one from Batman and Robin. Besides that, I actually liked all the Batmobiles. Mm-hmm. Do I have a particular favorite one? I mean, yeah, probably 1989. But at the same time, I hated it at first, but I actually did end up being partial to the one in Dark Knight or Batman Begins. And I really was a big fan of the one in BVS. So I liked every single one of them. But this Batmobile, the only thing I'm happy about is the fact that he's not turning into a bat and flying around stalking women. Look, here's my thing. No, you know what? You can sit here and say all you want. I'm not going to get over the fact this man did Twilight. I'm not going to get over the fact that they cast him as Batman and Bruce Wayne. I'm not going to get over the fact that he didn't bulk up, at least, or try to do anything for this movie. He looks like a little punk. He looks like a little twig, and he needs to be snapped. And I hope Riddler snaps him in two, even though he's not a physical villain. I'm not sold.
I feel like when it comes to Batman, people are gonna go watch regardless because, in my opinion, Batman is the Tony Stark of DC. Yeah. So,
actually, we can also go further. Batman is the Tony Stark of comic book movies. That's just me.
Yeah. I mean, the guy has the money. He's got the gadgets. He's got everything, but at the same time, he's probably a little bit better because he's a detective, and he knows how to
fight. We mean as far as popularity, as far as
popularity, bottom line, people are just gonna go watch it just because it's Batman, and they want to. It's like I more than anything, this trailer has left me curious to want to see this movie. And I'm always looking for.
No surprise there.
So we
gotta wrap this up, ladies and gentlemen. That is the Batman trailer. This movie is expected to come out next October 2021. There's a lot more trailer probably coming out because, as James said, the principal photography is still going for 2 or 3 months. It was delayed due to 2020. So for See the Spirit, for Jay, for Vengeance, for the Executive Champion, we'll be back. This is a trial run, ladies and gentlemen, but we'll be back with another trailer very soon. Thank you so much for watching us here at Unpopular Review.